after Hurricane Katrina, I saw nothing. There was no future. I didn't see a future. I didn't want to be there.
You didn't see a future in Louisiana?
In Louisiana.
Okay.
I didn't want to be there anymore. I didn't want to rebuild.
There were a lot of people that left.
Yeah.
I know. And so you were in that. Now your mom, did she wanted to stay? I mean, that's where she's from,
My mom
right?
stayed. My sister stayed. My kids stayed.
Okay.
Everybody wanted to stay. I was like, I can't make it here.
Yeah.
I can't go back to working offshore. I can't go back to driving trucks. I don't see that.
Were you depressed? I mean,
I was
where do
more
you think
so
that comes
motivated to make it. Motivated to make something else work. You know, I had already got the taste of California.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Same Business, Different Day podcast. I am your host, Zeke Corley, and it is my pleasure to be sitting with our guest today, Donnell Hilliard. Sometimes there are people that just get it right. Their soul is good and you can just feel it. When you can find people like that in your personal life, you're fortunate. When you can find that type of person in a business owner, you're lucky. We have just that type of person in our guest today. Welcome, Donnell Hilliard, to the Same Business, Different Day podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. There are lessons for us here, you know, in being the type of person that you are. And we're going to take some time to see what some of those lessons are. And we're going to get some lessons from you today. I know the teacher in you is ready to break it down for us. So appreciate it. But let's start from the beginning, though. Tell me about where you're born and where you're raised.
Originally, I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was a Marine.
Yeah.
Grew up we left from New Orleans when I was 2, or when I was born. We went to North Carolina. Then we moved to Camp Pendleton. After that, when we got to Camp Pendleton, I stayed here for about 14 years. But in that time, we were, I went to elementary school here, went to middle school here, went to beginning parts of high school here.
Yeah.
I left here my sophomore year, but I got to enjoy California, really get to know this was my home, so to speak.
Sure.
So
it's not a bad place to be.
No, I always refer to it as home base, you know, because although my roots are in Louisiana, you know, this is where I established myself and really got to know who I was.
Did you spend, it's funny because I was just having a conversation with another lady who was raised by a military father. Mm-hmm. And she moved around a lot. I'm wondering, though, how much time you spent out in the community versus like on base when you were in your early years?
Early on, I was not too much out, but so my parents divorced at, I think I was 8.
Okay.
And my mom moved out onto basically off base. Mm-hmm. Actually downtown, moved to San Diego on B Street. Okay. Stayed down there for a year.
Okay.
And then I moved back with my dad because mom really couldn't handle a little boy.
Okay.
So she sent me back with dad, and I stayed here and enjoyed being out in town because my dad got out the military, and we just he got a job, and I was able to go to school and meet friends and, mm-hmm. Be part of a community pretty much in Carlsbad, where I got to have a lot of fun, make friends. And now I get to see that a lot of those friends do different things, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So during that time, you see what he did, being in the military and being able to, raise you. And then again, like I said, being on base and seeing all of that, did you have aspirations of going into the military? Did you have thoughts of what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Actually, I wanted to be a pro basketball player. That was my thing. You know, I didn't have aspirations to go into the military. I thought it was always going to be if it was a backup plan. If something didn't happen, I was, hey, the military was always there.
Okay. But it wasn't a turnoff for you?
No.
Okay.
I never really dived into it, so I didn't really pay too much attention. I just knew it was a 9 to 5. Mm. Hey, he goes to work, he comes home.
Okay.
So I really got to see him a lot. His job was, he worked for the JAG, and he ended up, so he was home every day.
Okay.
There was a lot of being able to see him. So he set a real good foundation for a lot of the things that I wanted to do. you got to play with me all day. You got to, or in the evening, we got to play basketball.
Yeah.
We worked out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Did a whole bunch of things that really set me up for, success in life.
Mm-hmm.
As I got older, I thought that if I didn't succeed at basketball, that was a turning point for me.
Okay. But you were serious about basketball.
Oh yeah. Which ended up not being that way anyway. Football became the way to go. But
really?
Basketball was my first love.
I love it, man. That's awesome. And I have heard you say that you got into coaching and all that stuff too. Yeah. So you're still around the game.
A little bit. Okay. Yeah, I still have a 13-year-old that he plays basketball a lot. So I still got to kind of get out there. I don't do it competitively, but I do definitely, get to hang out with him and, try to make sure that he knows he can't beat me yet. Not ready to pass the torch.
He might get close. He's 13. They push us to the limit sometimes.
Man, every limit I got, he pushes me to it too.
I love it, man. So now you wound up, like you said, starting high school at least out here, out in what city?
Carlsbad. I went to Carlsbad High.
You went to Carlsbad High?
Carlsbad High.
Okay.
Left here at 14, so my sophomore year. Moved to Louisiana with my mom. Little small town called Thibodeau.
Okay.
And out in the sticks, they got sugarcane fields that grow everywhere.
Yeah.
And went to a little small school, and it was, coming from a school where you saw like 3,000 people in a graduating class to going to 300 people in a graduating class. Complete shock,
But was it a shock that you asked? I mean, what did you want to go to Louisiana, or is just circumstances got you there?
Circumstances.
Right. I get it. So then you have to actually just deal with whatever this shock was, and going to school, and it's a whole different. Actually, you mentioned to me too, which is an interesting factor, that their education system was a little bit behind what you had been learning.
Yeah.
Already. So it was almost like kind of taking a step back when you get to school?
Very much so. It wasn't even just school, it was just life in general. So when I got there, the schooling, I was, here I was doing AP math. But I got there and I was almost doing seniors math.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, hold on. I was in 10th grade doing what you're doing in high school and, as a senior, and that just kind of threw me for a loop. But everything was slowed way down. You still had, I didn't know what it was like to see all the green and sugarcane fields, and I was used to seeing the ocean.
Yeah.
And for lack of better terms, it was complete culture shock. California is really diverse.
Right.
And it gives you get to see a lot of different things, a lot of different people, a lot of different cultures. And when I got to Louisiana, especially in a little small town, there was no diversity. It was primarily African American. They're all Black. And you, like, wow, all right, this is new. But the hard part was that I wasn't accepted initially. It was the way it came off was you're one of us, but you're not like us.
Okay.
You walk like us, you talk like us, but you don't dress like us. You don't talk like us. You don't talk
exactly like us.
You don't talk like us.
No.
You don't have the little New Orleans twang.
Right.
So it was defeating for a moment.
Yeah.
I had to fight for a minute because I was the new guy coming in. So of course they knew me, they knew of me, but they didn't know me. I'd be with my cousins and stuff, and they would be like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
So I ended up having to fight for like 2 years.
Wow. Before
they actually started accepting me. I literally fought like every day, going to the bus stop every day. Like, man, another fight?
Yeah.
Come home and mom was like, hey, why are you getting into all these fights? Like, I didn't start it.
You're the odd man out. And they're just picking on you and you had to fight for some respect.
Yeah.
Man, that's very interesting. What else is interesting to me is you mentioned diversity. Now, so my story is, in like middle school and elementary school, I went to all Black schools in Los Angeles, Inglewood. Okay. And then middle school and high school, I went to all white school. Now, what's interesting is I feel like that's very much helped me,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
become more rounded and just understanding people in general. But a lot of people don't understand that if you are just around just your type, just Black people in Louisiana, then that could actually be to your detriment. Some
Absolutely.
might say, "Oh, well,
Absolutely.
you're at home. You're around all the people
Yeah,
you love."
yeah,
And
yeah.
but you know,
But it doesn't help to allow you to grow.
right?
You know, you don't grow to and accept
Yeah,
other people. You know, it's like, you know, you when I saw a sugarcane field for the first time, I was like, wow,
yeah,
this is a lot.
yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and it's like the sea of sugarcane fields. You just see them. They
Yeah.
go and they go. You know, knowing what it is here, is seeing like the
Mhm.
oceans. Like,
Yeah.
okay, there. Being able to have both of those comparisons and being in both of those spots really allowed me to open up
Yeah.
and understand that there are two different worlds, or there is a lot more to the world than just either Black people or sugarcane fields or the ocean or white people. You know, there's a lot.
Right. 100%. I love it. You know what's it's interesting too because you used that word diversity earlier when we were talking about your shop, and we'll get to that. But diversity is something that you yearn for
Yes.
once you've seen it.
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm. Because you want it's like inclusive.
Yeah.
It's inclusive.
Yeah. So tell us about any early jobs that you remember doing and if how they molded you or why you turned them down. Because I know eventually there's still the decision to go to the military.
Yeah. I got out of high school or I didn't get out of high school. I ended up getting my GED.
Okay.
And I started trying different things. I worked in a grocery store,
Mhm.
you know, this bagger. Liked it. It was kind of fun. You know, it was just a high school thing. I wasn't
Mhm.
going to make any money going forward.
Yeah.
Then I ended up going to a driving trucks for a delivery company they were home furnishings. I delivered furniture.
Yeah.
Drove the truck and delivered furniture and brought it in.
Yeah.
And that was cool. Got to go in people's houses and see what all I wanted
See
to
how other
see in
people
life.
living.
Like, wow, this is great. I have dreams of this stuff. But I really didn't find anything that I yearned for. You know, a lot of things that I thought I wanted to do, you know, tried being a truck driver. And I was doing an apprenticeship under a truck driver in
Mhm.
Louisiana. And I wanted to do it, but I couldn't see myself going over the road, you know, just staying gone too long.
Yeah.
At about 20 years old, I tried working offshore on oil rigs.
Mhm.
And I was working on an oil rig, and one of the lines that held it straight, it popped, and the rig went sideways. And I'm like, oh yeah, get me off. Get me off. I called my mom instantly, said, Mom, get me home. I can't do this. I can't do it. There's too much water out here.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
but you gotta have to find something.
Right.
You gotta do something because
Yeah.
you know you're getting grown." And I got a girl pregnant,
Okay.
and she was like, "You gotta figure something out.
That's it.
You gotta do something."
Yeah.
And that was I think 96.
Mhm.
So after
Plan
that, I
B.
was like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And I decided to join the military.
Yeah.
You know,
It was your plan B all along.
I needed to get out. I had to find something. That was probably one of the best decisions I could make.
Why?
Because it gave me discipline.
Okay.
Discipline, and it gave me a direction,
Okay.
something to do.
Yeah.
However, I was an athlete, you know, so I ended up being in the intramurals, playing basketball, and you know, I ended up playing, you know, flag football. After playing flag football for a while, I got found by a coach that was doing an all-star team. And they were doing another flag football team, so did that, and then got seen by a coach that did an all-army team. It was in Europe, and I got to travel all over Europe playing football for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard a story like that.
That became my job. That became my job.
That's dope.
Yeah. So
you enjoyed that, I'm sure.
loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
All over Europe too.
All over Europe. You know, just from base to base. So we played basically they had a base team over here that played this base team over here, and that was the job. You know, I was supposed to be a nutrition care specialist, went to school for it and did all that, but then they said, "Hey, look, football."
Right.
Football? I can play football?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. I'll take off every day to play football. Like,
That's it.
this is your job. No worries.
Yeah.
So I got hurt playing. I ended up dislocating my right leg from my hip.
No, that's the Bo Jackson injury, ain't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Avascular necrosis. So I dislocated that leg, but the other one was bad over time. So
okay. Compensation.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Overcompensation. So I have actual left hip arthroscopy. So I have a metal rod that runs from my hip down to in my femur.
Wow. No more football.
No more football.
Wow.
No more football.
Yeah.
So I got out, moved home.
Welcome to Velocity, the Vista Chamber podcast, where we dive deep into Vista's heartbeat. Join engaging conversations with local heroes, movers, shakers, and change makers shaping Vista's spirit. Tune in anytime, anywhere for a personalized connection to community stories. Velocity goes beyond info. It's a bridge connecting Vista's diverse voices. Hosted by me, Chamber CEO Rachel Beld. Powered by the Vista Chamber of Commerce, your go-to for the heartbeat of Vista's vibrant community.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're the hosts of I Like Beer, the podcast. Teachers by day, beer drinkers by night.
We promote local breweries. We toast, roast, and pour one out for all things beer and life related.
Come play beer or not a beer with us.
Find us wherever you get your podcasts at I Like Beer, the podcast.
Fancy.
Well, actually, no, I didn't. That didn't even happen yet.
Okay.
I ended up getting out because I got hurt. And moved back to Louisiana, and Hurricane Katrina happened.
Okay.
And after Hurricane Katrina, I saw nothing. There was no future. I didn't see a future. I didn't want to be there.
You didn't see a future in Louisiana?
In Louisiana.
Okay.
I didn't want to be there anymore. I didn't want to rebuild.
There were a lot of people that left.
Yeah.
I know. And so you were in that. Now your mom, did she wanted to stay? I mean, that's where she's from,
My mom
right?
stayed. My sister stayed. My kids stayed.
Okay.
Everybody wanted to stay. I was like, I can't make it here.
Yeah.
I can't go back to working offshore. I can't go back to driving trucks. I don't see that.
Were you depressed? I mean,
I was
where do
more
you think
so
that comes
motivated to make it. Motivated to make something else work. You know,
Okay.
I had already got the taste of California. Now, I don't want to be in this little small town looking at these sugarcane fields all my life. You know,
Yeah.
it's cool to go out there and pick one and chew it for a while, but that's not life for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
You know, I love it. And I love being able to go back and enjoy it, but that's not what I wanted.
And you needed to make a change.
Yeah. So came out, and the funny thing was me and my father had, you know, a rough, shaky time in our lives. So when I got here, my expectation was, hey, son, come on in open arms. And
now he
that
was in
wasn't-
Oceanside at the time? Or?
He was in Oceanside. yeah.
Okay.
And it didn't quite happen like that, but it was probably the best thing for me. The FEMA was handing out vouchers to stay in hotels for a while. And I stayed in a hotel down in Oceanside for 6 months until they started handing out vouchers for apartments. You could take the voucher, bring it to the apartment complex, and the apartment complex was going to take the voucher and use it because FEMA was going to pay rent.
Yeah.
Until you got on your feet.
Right.
Well, after the first apartment, about 3 months of that, and they were like, yeah, well, we're waiting on our money.
Oh.
And so FEMA never paid. I ended up getting an eviction notice. Before I could leave that first place, or before I could get evicted, I went and found another place with the same voucher.
Okay.
And moved in.
Yeah.
Oh, that went about 3 months, and
FEMA didn't pay them
FEMA
either?
didn't pay that either.
Whoa.
2 eviction notices, 1 year.
Yeah.
Didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I sofa surfing for a while, and ended up moving in with my dad and my stepmom, and it kind of taught me some things. You know, hey, you've really got to get stuff together. California's going to eat you up, chew you up, and spit you out. So, you know, go back to a point at 14 where mom gave me a pair of clippers.
Yeah.
And she said, hey, I'm not going to the barbershop no more. They look at me like a piece of meat. I'm not going in there. You need to figure it out. So I started cutting my own hair. Moved to Louisiana with her and started cutting my cousin's hair along with my hair.
Yeah.
got in the military and was cutting in the barracks. Came out here, and after I got a job at what was called Tweeter. It used to be on Hacienda.
Okay.
And my dad was a manager there, and I tried it for about 2 months. Didn't like it. Walked across the street to a barber shop and said, "Hey, I can cut hair."
What kind of shop was Tweeter?
Tweeter was a sound audio.
Okay. Makes
It was
sense.
sound or audio.
Your dad
and
was your
visual.
manager. Was it that you didn't like the trade or you just didn't like working with your dad?
I didn't like the trade. I didn't like
Okay.
sales.
Oh, you didn't like sales?
I didn't like sales.
Okay.
I didn't want to sell anything.
Interesting.
Well,
Because you love people.
It's a speaker. Like, you want the speaker or not? How do you sell a speaker?
Turn it on, turn it off. You
Yeah.
like it? Take it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. I think it's time for the reveal. Okay. Resiliency is one of the themes of Donnell's success. And that's why I'm personally happy to see him succeed. From a barber school teacher to owner of Kingdom Kutz in the heart of downtown Vista. I can tell you from experience that walking into his shop isn't just like walking into any shop. It's like walking into a vibe all of its own. Welcoming with refreshments, conversation, and intention to create a vibe you'd want to return to. I appreciate you welcoming my son and I into your shop last week. And so I'm happy to welcome you here into my shop today. Donnell Hilliard, thank you and welcome to the Same Business Different Day podcast.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. I mean every word. So it sounds like you were getting to that. Like it's like you were cutting hair. You've been around town cutting hair. You saw a barbershop across the street from Tweeter.
Mhm.
What happened next?
I walked in and I literally quit my job. I quit my job. Said, I'm done. I can't do this no more.
Mhm.
I got to be up. I got to get on the bus to get over here to work.
Mhm.
I don't want to do it.
Mhm.
So I walked over to the barbershop and I said, "Hey, I know how to cut hair."
Mm.
I had a pair of clippers from Walmart. A pair of clippers and a pair of trimmers. I said, "Hey, I have my own clippers." He said, "Those aren't clippers." He said, "But I'm gonna let you use them."
Mhm.
He said, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Louisiana." He said, "You how'd you get here?" I said, "I just got here a couple months ago for Hurricane Katrina." He said, "You know what? I'm gonna give you a shot."
Mm.
Luckily, because I had no barber's license, I had nothing.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm gonna work with you. I'm gonna figure out how to make this happen for you."
Yeah.
And shout out to LJ, Lil James,
Shout out LJ.
he without him, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
Yes, sir.
Took me under his wing, taught me a lot more than what I knew because I thought I knew a whole lot,
Touch
but I
what
didn't.
real clippers were?
Yeah. He helped me. He helped me
I
and
still
showed
get
me
my
the way.
clippers from Walmart. Maybe
They work.
I'll have
They
to
work.
learn from you.
They work.
No, okay. So then what happens next? You work with him for a little bit of time, or
I worked with him at Tri-City, which is over by Popeyes, which is now
I know.
Junebug's Barbershop.
okay,
The lease ended and the owner didn't want to renew the lease because something had happened. Don't know what, wasn't part of it, happened before me.
good.
I think I was there for all of a year and some change.
Mhm.
And we ended up having to go, we left or we got kicked out. And I ended up going to Oceanside down at a place called Beachcomber.
Okay,
I cut down there for all of 3 months. And then a friend of mine that I met, he was opening up another shop called D. Capelli down on Coast Highway. And
okay. In Oceanside.
Xavier was opening up a shop called D. Capelli. And he said, "Hey, you don't want to work here no more because this is commission and it's going to take you, 80 haircuts to get $800. Like, this is a lot of work." I said, "Oh, please, thank you. I'm more than willing to come."
That's
So I
sales.
go over to the shop. Excuse me?
That's sales.
Yeah. Yeah. So I go over to D. Capelli and I worked there he just started a shop. So seeing that shop come up from the ground,
Mhm.
Seeing the advertisement and the marketing that he had to do to get it going and going around word of mouth and being at the clubs at night and, just opening up and saying hello to everyone.
Yeah.
That was inspiring to me because I got to see the shop grow
Okay.
and it literally progressed. And for 10 years, it was literally the best shop or the biggest shop in Oceanside.
Okay. Did you work there for 10 years?
I worked there for 10 years.
Did you ever get your barber license?
Not there.
Okay.
Not there.
Okay. So you were hustling. You were doing your thing.
I was just figuring it out.
Yeah.
I had all intentions, but I'll tell you, I was making so much money.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to stop.
But you were making money for a reason, though. You were making money because people were coming back. And I think that's something like I mentioned in the intro. It's like there's just something about having the right vibe, having the right ability to communicate, create a contact list, make your appointments, be there, be available when they need you, be professional.
This was back in the day when you didn't have appointments.
Okay.
It was all walk-ins. People come in, people would sit down for hours waiting on haircuts. But they'd come in, they'd bring their beer. We had a pool table in the middle of the room. Play pool, and we'd play music, laugh and joke. There was always comedy going on. Somebody would be laughing, making a joke. The barbers, we figured out how to talk about each other and make it funny, and just kind of go back and forth. So that became what taught me how to kind of create a vibe. Yeah, you want to create that laughter, create that environment where everybody comes in. Yeah. Did that for 10 years, and in 2015, I actually stopped cutting hair.
Okay.
I had a hip replacement.
Okay.
Once I had the hip replacement, that brought me into a depression. I didn't really know how to handle it, because everything that I thought I was able to do was kind of taken away from me. I was able to play football, able to play basketball, able to run and jump, but the pain had gotten so bad that I couldn't. So then after the hip replacement, I flew my mom out. She helped me regroup. About 3.5 years in, I kind of, there was a spark. Like, hey, you got to do something. I was tired of sitting on my butt.
I'm going to interrupt you real quick, though, because I got a question. We have a lot of guests that mention depression, anxiety, whatever, talk about mental health. That sounds real awesome that you flew your mom out and that she hopefully was helpful with that. But did you ever seek any therapy?
I did. I actually left California, went to Arizona. I enrolled into, because I'm a veteran, I used the VA, used the resources of the VA to, basically just talk about it, to start getting myself out of the funk. Yeah. And the more I talked about it, the better I felt. I thought, hey, you are bigger, you're stronger than this, you're better than this. Yeah. And that it really helped. It really helped. It's one of those things where without it, I don't know what I think, I'd have stayed in that funk, hearing myself say a lot of those things, hearing myself, tell it to someone else. I couldn't fathom staying in that funk.
That's it.
So it really helped.
I love it. Thanks for sharing that, man. I mean, I think that's really important. Conversation doesn't happen enough.
No.
I know that a lot of people try to pin it on communities. This community doesn't like to go to therapy. This community doesn't. Some people don't have the means. Some people, it doesn't even cross their mind, but I can say from experience, it's helpful.
It's very. And I still continue to this day to go to therapy.
Good.
Because it's something that keeps me going.
Yeah. It's not just like talking to your boys.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's different.
There's that intimate relationship with that therapist that I can tell anything to. Yeah. There's no judgment.
Yeah.
No judgment. And that I think that helps. That helps truly.
I love it, man. I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Join us, Couples Unfiltered, the podcast where we have intricate conversations with very interesting couples from all walks of life.
We delve into the profound difficulties these couples have faced and how they've overcome despite.
These are genuine couples with genuine stories, and we're so excited to be able to share their wealth of knowledge with you.
That's Couples Unfiltered. Listen wherever you get your podcast.
This podcast is brought to you by YourInsurancePlace.com. Owning a business is hard work. You put your blood, sweat, and tears into it every single day. You need a partner who understands the ins and outs of insuring small to medium-sized businesses. For over 40 years, Our California Property and Casualty Insurance Agency has insured businesses just like yours. We've seen it all, and we've learned a thing or two about what it takes to keep your business protected. That's why we offer free policy assessments. We'll take a look at your policy and let you know if there are any gaps in your coverage. Let us help you to protect what you've worked so hard to build. YourInsurancePlace.com.
Out of this funk, is that when you decide to open up the shop, or?
COVID happened.
Which just said a lot of people in depression.
Right before COVID happened, I had signed up for Barber School.
Okay.
So at this point, I'm like, hey, I want to get back into it, but I need a license. I went to my friend's shop, and I was like, hey, I want a job. He was like, I need you to have a license. We're not back in the old school no more. I can't do it like that.
Sure.
So I signed up for Barber School in San Diego. I would use my VA to do it. And I drove up to San Diego every day for a year. And when COVID happened, school in itself, we weren't going to school. We were doing school on a computer. And I just so happened to be working in my garage at the time. And so they would allow me to use my video camera on my computer to actually teach as I was cutting hair. And after I graduated, I ended up going back because they asked me to come back and actually be an educator.
Wow.
So I did that for 2 years and then decided to open up a barbershop.
I love it.
This wasn't even the first one that I tried.
Okay.
I actually got an offer from work while I was working in my friend's barbershop to go open or help change a barbershop in Oceanside from a commission shop to a shop similar to mine. And what we call chop shops. The dependent on the military to come in, they're more volume than what it is.
Oh, okay. And Oceanside's a perfect place for that.
Yeah. And what I wanted to do was change it into something similar to what we have, was commission-based, barbers pay booth rent. You come in, now you have to market yourself a little bit. But 2 months in, that kind of went out the window. And I was introduced by one of my customers to Julie Lowen, who owns the old bank building that I'm in. And we had a long talk. She asked me a few things and told me that she had an opportunity zone project, and she wanted to help and see me grow.
Yeah.
And boom, here we are. This was nothing short of amazing. I love Vista with all my heart.
Yeah.
And it's welcomed me with open arms, and I couldn't ask for a better place to be.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Julie Lowen, two-time guest on this show. Yes.
Okay.
Told some amazing stories, very inspirational stories about how she, grew up.
Yeah.
And on into what the future looks like, her goals for the future. And so that's pretty awesome. Obviously, I know that building.
Yeah.
And for her to put you in that space, I mean, that's just this is a gold mine right there.
Yeah. Yeah. She has a lot of goals for it and a lot of dreams for it. She shares a lot of that with me, and I'm just like, wow. When she did share it with me, when I talked to her, I was like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I got to get in here before the getting starts getting good.
Yeah.
And go from the bottom all the way up, start working it. Because there's nothing like getting in something early, and being part of actually growth, to be a part of the community and grow with it.
Yeah. Back to cutting hair real quick, I want you to give us the talk that you gave my son when he sat down in the chair about the importance of getting a good haircut. And
first off, most people don't know what a good haircut is until they get one. Secondly, haircuts make you feel strong, powerful, confident. When they walk into my barbershop, I don't think they feel strong, powerful, and confident.
Okay.
So when they walk out after getting a haircut, they're strong, powerful, confident, and get to go roam their respective kingdom. Hence the name Kingdom Kutz.
I love it, man. I love it. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
That's the one.
Mhm.
That's the gift to
That's the
everybody
gift.
there. Yeah. Now come visit. Now tell me where they can find you.
We are at 101 South Indiana Avenue in Vista, California, 92084. You can also find us on Instagram at onekingdom.kutz. We also have our web address is KingdomKutzVista.com.
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 With K's, Kingdom and Kutz.
Kingdom
with
and
Vista.
Kutz, both K's. We're there. Please come in. Please come see us because doors are open and we're always accepting new clients. Come hang out with us. Drink a beer, relax, have some whiskey, have some water.
Yeah.
You know?
Come tell some stories.
Tell some stories.
Tell some lies.
Listen to some stories and laugh and joke with us because that's what a barbershop's about.
I love it.
Come in and it's about the community. This is for the community. It's not about the barbershop. It's about the people that walk in.
You know, and that's why I'm happy to announce to the audience who don't know, and I know you know, but that you are a Heroes of Vista nominee for New Business of the Year.
Yeah.
That is awesome, man.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's an honor in itself because I would have never thought, I just I'm here to cut hair. And it's about an experience.
Right. But you hit the ground running, but you hit the ground as yourself. And I think that shines through, and that's what I'm trying to exude and be clear about when I'm telling everybody about you and what you're doing at Kingdom Kutz. So we will definitely be back.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Even like I said, just if it's just for some lies and laughs.
we have a great group of barbers who do amazing work. And
that's right.
They make this run more than I do.
You know what?
About them.
Another point, though, that I would bring up about the shop, and I think it's important to mention, back to your diversity comment, you're cutting everybody's hair.
Absolutely. There's no such thing as a black barbershop anymore. There's no such thing as a white barbershop anymore. It's everybody. It's a barbershop for the community. And the community is built on diversity. So everybody come in, everybody get a haircut. Long, short, white, green, yellow, orange, it doesn't matter. Cut it off.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
I love it. All right, guys. So thank you again, Donnell Hilliard. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I said,
I appreciate you.
And the words I've said are heartfelt. But that's just from a vibe that I'm catching. So I believe in it. I believe in you. I believe in your business. And I want nothing but the success for you.
Thank you so much.
Right on. So everybody, you know where it is. What's the address again?
101 South Indiana Avenue.
101 South Indiana Avenue. You might just see me there sipping on a little something and talking, and you might see Miles in there getting his hair cut. But regardless, come by, visit them, support us as well. The Same Business, Different Day podcast. Like, subscribe, comment on the show. Find us at SameBizPod, SameBizPod. And just keep that algorithm going. We're going to keep these shows going. They can't stop us. We're not going to stop. But we want to get this information out to you all who have aspirations, you got ideas, you're thinking about taking a leap, you just have a personal story to tell, come tell it to us. And if you got somebody that you think should be a guest on the show, let us know. But we're here for you. We're here for not just this community, but for all communities. And that's all I got to say. Peace.